they got issues of their own. Like, there's a high possibility.
I don't really know how to describe it, but just
Hello, world.
hi.
Okay, so Zoe.
So Navy. Navy and Autumn talking about women.
Okay, so lady products.
So
Okay, we have questions we're gonna ask our lovely guest, Zoe Loy.
hi.
Are you excited?
Yes.
You
Okay.
better be.
This is already. Okay. Zoe,
Navy.
we have pads here, okay?
Yes.
We're going to talk about, like, our preferences, because everybody has their own personal preferences. So, like, what do you prefer?
I prefer pads. Okay. I don't like tampons.
Why?
They're weird.
Why?
Okay. I don't really know how to describe it, but just like, you know.
If you think the tampons here are weird, in like Australia, they don't have the applicator. You just shove them in with your fingers.
What?
And did you like they can get like stuck up there and you have to like dig around for the string.
You put the string up there?
Okay.
No, the string can get stuck up there.
Okay,
What?
I don't mean to be TMI at all, okay? But, like, what if you don't like the sight of blood? What if you can't put your hands up there? And three, sorry. Gross. Like,
That's why we have pads.
true, but, like, I'm going to open this real quick. Okay.
ASMR.
Okay, so you have to like pull it out. No, you have to like
Okay.
you have to pull it until it clicks.
Okay, so, like, I don't use tampons.
Here, do you want me to do it?
I can figure it out. Like, I don't use my tampon.
You pull it
I don't
until
use
it
Take the
clicks.
thing that's moved and no, don't put it up, but push that back and push the tampon back in. So the bottom, yeah, you push it there, and then you're supposed to like insert it, like the part with the actual tampon in it.
Can I see
You're
it,
supposed
though?
to
You show me,
insert
Yeah,
that
okay.
into yourself,
So
and then
see
you
how it can
push it
still
out.
move? You're supposed to pull it until it makes a clicking noise. It just made it. And now you just like push it up in there. and then here you go. Then you obviously do take the plastic part off.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw like videos of like people putting tampons in like water bottles and then like coming back within like 5 or 7 hours, and like that
Well,
looks painful
You
to
guys
take
should-
out.
You guys should do that.
Water is different from period
Well,
blood.
yeah.
Period blood is like thicker and stuff.
Blood is thicker than water. Yeah. But like, I don't know. Like, it's like nothing against people who use tampons or pads. Like,
Yeah.
no, that's like do what you gotta do. Like menstrual cups, cool. But like I won't lie, it looks like it hurts. And like I remember the first
Yeah.
time I used a pad, like that was uncomfortable for like a good while. But like after a bit, it was more okay. I don't feel anything.
My aunt, she uses tampons and she says they're way more comfortable than pads. And like once you use a tampon, you'll never go back to using pads.
Yeah, honestly, I prefer tampons over pads. It's just tampons are normally more expensive, so I normally use pads. With me, okay, TMI kind of, but with me, I'm kind of built smaller. I can fit into kids' clothes and stuff, and a lot of the time, the pads, even though like you can get your period, you can first get it like when you're 8 or 9 and stuff. They're not made for like children or people like size of children and stuff. So they're like too wide for me. So tampons, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. I heard someone say like you could use panty liners, but like that's not gonna hold
Yeah, because
anything.
you could still have like a really heavy flow and like be like a young kid. Like when I was 9, or not 9, but like when I got my period when I was younger, I had like a really heavy flow. I still do.
Yeah.
And like the panty liners would not
No.
work at all.
Like
I
sorry.
honestly used to use panty liners, but as I got older, it got really heavier. But like when I used a panty liner, I had to like change it every 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it was like, if I didn't, I was done for.
The evolution of pads that I know that I hold dear to my heart is that my mom, I found out one day, thankfully it was at the time of like Christmas, so like I didn't have to worry about school. Thank God. But my mom gave me hers, and I was so uncomfortable. I was sitting down, I wouldn't even sit down because the feeling of it pressed against me was like so I was crouched down in a ball laying on the floor. and I was scared that it was just gonna feel like this is getting detailed, but but yeah. So just after a while, you do get used to it. They are a bit wide. Like the ones I use, they have to be because like heavy flow people.
Yeah, because of the width. Unpopular opinion, because of the width, I don't like the rings on pads. I prefer them ringless. So I will often cut the rings off of the pads
Okay, but why?
because, well, like I said, they're kind of wide and they're meant to like kind of overlap,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just too much overlapping for me. It's just not working.
See, I would agree, but like the thing is that if I don't use the wings, like flat them under, it'll ball up in the middle, and then the gross stuff will slide
Yeah,
in
mine will
from
like
the side.
overflow over it.
Yeah, like it like we need the wings to like, go under because if you don't, it's just gonna like whoop.
It's gonna be
Luckily
horrible.
with me, they're too big and like width that it doesn't do that. It won't go over.
I'm almost certain you could get pads that are smaller but are still used for heavy flow.
They're probably more expensive though. I've never seen any.
Like that goes to our like the pink tax though. You know what I mean? You know what the pink tax is?
Yeah, it's because women products they cost more if they're pink.
I'll give you a really good example. Like razors. She
Yeah.
told me that like razors they both have the same use, but because they're pink, they'll be double the price.
Children too, like, oh, the exact same bike, same brand. One's pink, one's catered to girls, one's blue, one's catered to boys. The pink one is more expensive.
It's gross. And like another thing with like pads and tampons and stuff, they got rid of taxes. Yay, we don't pay taxes on pads. But they doubled the price. A pad set that would be like $11 is now like $20.
Yeah, like my box. When I get pads, the box of it is like $20, and you only get like 16 pads in it.
Yep. I at my house we collect coupons.
Yeah.
And we like we have like a bunch of coupons and we're just like, here, we're getting this for free.
When you think about it, because like we have systems at like our school, and I think they're doing one at the library where like you could ask for a pad and stuff, but like think about it like in yourself, that would be uncomfortable.
Actually, I think they said on the announcements, some other group, they are having it so that
Yeah.
there's products in the bathroom now.
I didn't see it.
I
yet.
didn't see them either, and we were in both bathrooms.
I don't think we weren't really looking for it though.
Yeah.
It could be in the dispensers, but don't you have to pay for that?
Yeah, you have to like pay like I think $1 or like a quarter. I don't know. You have to pay for them.
They said they were free, so I wouldn't imagine they put it in there.
They probably just like spins, but you don't have to put anything in it.
Yeah, but, like that sucks. Okay, this is what sucks about these little systems. Okay, one, we go to the office. We ask for a pad. That's great. We have that thing, but like people are so shy,
Yeah.
and like it's good we have the option, but at the same time, no one's gonna be like, oh, can I have a pad? They're gonna be uncomfortable, especially if there's someone else in the office. Another thing, two, people can be greedy. Like in the little dispensers, that's great that we have that. That's amazing. But like at the same time, someone's like, oh well, I don't know. Like take what you need, of course, but like other people might need that more than you.
Can I say a point? With the first one, a lot of the time the secretaries they're sitting back, so you have to like speak up. You have to say it loudly, which can be
Yeah.
embarrassing for even someone walking by. And second, sometimes it's not even people being greedy. It's because they don't have this stuff at home.
Yeah.
So they take it, and people are like, oh, you're ruining it for us, and like they're doing what they have to do.
Yeah, like of course, like take what you need, of course, but like at the same time, don't take like the whole thing because
Like if you have it, let other people who don't have it use
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
And like back to like the embarrassing thing. Like I know people who are embarrassed to, like even open their pads in the bathroom. So like having to go up to someone and actually ask for it, like in the office.
I wait till someone flushes the toilet, then I try to open it as fast as I can.
I rip it. I don't care.
Like that's another thing though too. We're in a woman's bathroom.
Yeah, we
A
all have
woman's
periods.
bathroom, and we're like, here, let me use my lovely ASMR pad. They're like, they have to wait until someone flushes the toilet to make this noise.
And then not even when you go to rip the wings too. It's like
And then you have to like even take it off of the plastic and stuff. Like if it's
yes.
has plastic, it's a no-go.
Yeah, maybe you would want to do it because you think that like it sounds like food and you're eating in the bathroom. If you're in a woman's bathroom, if you hear a rapper, no one's gonna judge you. And if someone does judge you, that tells you a lot about that person.
Honestly,
it's a
I'm
pad.
embarrassed to even pee in the bathroom. I'm embarrassed to use the bathroom.
Same.
I'm embarrassed to make noise in the
Yeah.
bathroom because
Like-
it's like,
There's an unspoken rule to be as quiet as possible in those bathrooms.
I wish our bathrooms, like the women's bathrooms, were more like the boys' ones because, like, you know what someone did to the soap dispenser.
We don't
They
talk
don't
about
even
that.
have soap. They have hand sanitizer outside their bathroom.
Okay, I don't think we are allowed because this is a school podcast. But to sum it up in a PG-13 way, someone did something bad in the soap dispensers in the boys' bathroom,
And now they don't have soap.
and now they have cooties. They legit have cooties because they don't have soap. First off, why would you do that? What was your thought
Bro,
process?
okay, like, if you gotta do it, there's a toilet right
Do
there.
it in. Okay,
Like, don't do that at school.
Like,
don't
I-
do that at school.
I am not a man. I cannot speak on the benefit of a man, but maybe you were really struggling that day. But all I'm gonna say, please do that in like not the sink, not the soap dispenser, in said toilet that you were in. You can lock the door. Okay, if you really want to, you could flush the toilet a bunch of times so no one can hear the noises. But
Well, considering they did that and put it in the soap dispenser, I don't think they're concerned about the noises.
Yeah,
okay.
See, the boys' bathroom,
it's so disgusting.
Like, no, okay, I want to say no judgment. We don't judge people, but in a soap dispenser, what are you? It's not even, like, don't even, if someone says
You
it's
would
for
have to-
TikTok too, if someone says, like, oh, it's for social media, what are you trying to prove on social media?
They would have had to stand on the counter.
do you think they, like, did it off and just held it in their hands and, like,
But that's another thing.
Put it
I'm
in?
pretty sure the bathroom that they did it in was the one in the math hallway.
Yeah.
And those sinks are like right in front of the door. So like if you look in the door, you can see directly in the freaking sinks. So like you're looking in there, right? And you just see someone standing on the sinks, turned.
Miss Johnson's classroom like looks right out at them, or the teachers' lounge does. Miss Johnson's is
Imagine-
the girls.
Imagine
yeah.
walking out of that class, and you see that.
wait, but
Traumatizing.
me and Zoe, we have calculus, so when we walk to calculus, is that why Mr. Curtis
That's,
there?
yeah, the teachers have to watch who goes in and out of the bathroom now.
Like, because it's, like,
And they caught
mostly
someone
the
like
math
smoking
one.
and vaping in the bathroom too.
Like one, noises in the bathroom, they're just sounds. It's the bathroom, even though it's supposed to be quiet. It's a bathroom. You're gonna have some
Worst
noises.
comes to worst, go on your phone, play music so they can't hear it.
Just careless
some mo-
whisper as you.
Yes, yes. Play some Mozart while you're at it. Like
Dun, dun, dun,
Like, they would be more concerned about the music than you opening up your pad or, like, tampon or whatever.
just imagine you're in the bathroom and you hear this. Wait,
Wait, do that again. You just hear that?
you're in the bathroom and you hear this. Thank you.
I would find that more, like, confusing or funny than anything.
Yeah.
Like,
To be honest, I would want to go in that bathroom even more.
Yeah, have a dance party.
Yes.
have you seen those, like, disco bathrooms on TikTok?
I mean, like, I saw like those fancy bathrooms that were in like clubs, and there's like strobe lights in the bathroom.
Yeah, they should do
No.
that in the girls' bathroom so you can click, like, on, like, a music thing and it just plays and you just...
Okay, that
Just
is not
rip
a good
it.
idea. They already have like problems trying to get the girls out of the bathroom in the first place. And I don't know, but like if there was music in the bathroom, I would be in there.
That's another problem though. Like every single time we go in the bathroom, it is a common fact that when you go to the bathroom and you're like with a group of friends, you go in with like a couple people with you. It's emotional support. But now I go in there because I'm scared. Last time I went to the bathroom by myself, it was lunchtime, and there was like a circle of girls on the floor with like a pizza in the middle, covering all this like stalls. And I need to go. I need to go. And they're like in the way. And I'm like, excuse me. And these wenches, they give me a dirty look. It's a bathroom. I need to pee. What? They're in here with like And it wasn't like a regular this was a family size pizza in the middle, in the floor. And there's like fog machine everywhere because they're vaping. Like, if you got a vape, that's fine. I'm not judging. I'm judging the fact that I need to go and I can't because you have a family size pizza on the floor.
Honestly, the bathrooms, like, if you are on your period and you cannot wait, you cannot wait to, like, change whatever you're using. And there's a bunch of people in there. If they're vaping, like, if a teacher catches it, sometimes, like, everyone in there gets in trouble, even
Yeah.
if you weren't vaping. So you're just like, hey, you don't want to be like, I was just in there changing my pad. You want evidence? Like,
Yeah, here's my gross like pad. Here you go. Like,
with like periods and stuff, people are like, oh, it's like I think part of the like reason why like you don't want noise, people are like, oh, it's gross and stuff. People act like it's unnatural when it is natural.
yeah, like not pads. Period in itself, like going into detail, it could be gross, but it happens to like 50% of the population.
Yeah. And like you get shamed for having a period, like the girls like or
Yeah.
other people too, like not just like girls, like guys can do it too, where they like just give you dirty looks and stuff.
Like,
Yeah.
ew, how
Like
dare you
don't
have
shame
a
us for
cycle.
something that like almost everyone has.
And that's another thing. Like, if you have a friend and they, regardless of their gender, and they like hardcore judge you for like bleeding and you can't control that, find new friends.
Yeah, don't be friends with them.
Like,
Yeah.
not only will that take a toll on you because you feel like embarrassed to talk about a basic human function. I'd understand if that person was like squeamish and they don't want to hear about blood.
Yeah.
But like just saying, oh yeah, I'm on my period, I can't go swimming. And they're like, ew, disgusting. Ew, that's absolutely, ugh. No, leave, find new friends. Like, you shouldn't be around people that would make you feel uncomfortable for a basic human function.
Yeah. And one thing I find, this happens especially like with men, like they're always like, oh, if you're like in a bad mood or something, like let's say someone like just slapped you in the face and you're like angry about it, and like most of the times like a boy will be like, oh, are you on your period? Oh, are you PMSing? It's like, no. Like
what-
maybe yes, but what does that have to do?
That still doesn't matter.
Yeah, like my mom does this. Okay, I'll be having a rough day at school. I'm chilling. I come home. I had a rough day. I'm tired. I'm a little cranky. I won't lie. And she's like, "You on your period?" Like, Mom, maybe, but that is not your like. You just made my day worse.
Yeah.
Like, it is scientifically proven that like when you're on your period, you will have mood swings.
Yeah.
That's not for everybody, but like everybody's different. But a good portion, they will have mood swings, get emotional, even have anxiety attacks.
Yeah.
But like you saying that makes it worse. Like, who cares? Who cares?
Just let me live my life.
Like,
Honestly, I would care if someone was like, no, I'm fine if they're like on the period or something, and then like, let's say I have like this big fancy car, and then they're in it, and I'm like, you need to like change your pad or something before we go. If like I'm driving, like now, whenever like they deny going to the bathroom all this time, and then they bleed out in my nice fancy car.
yeah.
Honestly, I would care then, but like, other than that, like, nah.
Also, like if you're ever like people shouldn't get mad if like a girl like bleeds out onto their bed because like
Yeah.
they can't control that and stuff.
Like especially if they were sleeping, it's
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. Like, even, like, not at a friend's house and you bleed on your bed, you'll be like, damn it.
Oh, but it'll wash out. Like I don't like people shouldn't get like really mad over it.
Yeah, like, I heard this one story about, like, a girl that was, like, spending the night at her boyfriend's house. And they were together for, like, I don't know, like, a good, like 5 months at least.
Yeah.
Like, past the 3-month rule. Wow. But,
What's
like,
the 3-month rule?
It's
the
like
3-month rule is, like,
the honeymoon stage.
Oh, okay.
like, after 3 months, that's when, like, they're actually, like, oh my God.
Like they're the real selves around them. They're not just
Yeah. But she was with him for like 5 months after that. She like they were cuddling, whatever, and like they're in his room. She falls asleep, and like she gets out of bed, and there's like a blood stain, and like he was so mad that he broke up with her over it. I'd understand if you'd be squeamish, like I said earlier, but that's not like whoa.
Yeah, like
Whoa.
just calm down. It happens. Like it happens every once in a while, you know.
That's like
Can't
spilling
control it.
juice on a table.
Yeah, and like it'll easily wash out. Like it won't like stain very bad.
And even if it doesn't, like
Just-
a little bit of
Buy new sheets too.
yeah. Like if you can't buy new sheets, just get a toothbrush and start scrubbing.
Yep.
You can actually like buy this stuff. I forget what it's called, but you can like just put water in a bucket, put your sheet in, and dump like the stuff in it. It's supposed to make it like whiter. It's right.
Not baking powder.
It's not baking
Baking
powder.
soda does work though. I think.
Yeah,
You put
baking
it on.
soda. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
I heard a story and stuff like their mom got married to this new guy and he had sons or whatever, and they were all living together. And this girl, they all like shared the bathroom, the children, and she had a period, so she would just put it in the garbage by the toilet, like in the bathroom and stuff. And then one of the like her stepbrothers came in and stuff afterwards, and he was like, "Oh, blood, blood, blood," and like she was told to not put anything in the garbage can. It's like, what do you want her to do? Carry it out?
Yeah, like go. Oh, here I'll put it in your room in your garbage can then.
Yeah, like wrap it up with toilet paper.
Yeah,
of
obviously
course.
don't like just throw it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like even though we're like, oh well, periods are normal, no one wants to see a bloody pad. Like just cover.
Also, it like
yeah.
hides the smell and stuff too. If there's any smell to it and stuff.
Yeah, and like and if there's not enough toilet paper, even though it's a bit gross, just and just like push it back and slide it in the trash can.
Actually, guys, if you don't have any toilet paper, here's what I do. So you
Okay,
take like a pad, right? You have your pad, your used pad. You roll it up.
Mhm.
Then you take the new pad,
Mhm.
and you like if you don't have like any toilet paper at all, you can wrap it in the wrapping.
That's what you're
Smart.
supposed to do.
Yeah.
Oh,
And if like you don't have a new wrapping, you can just roll it up, and that like
I didn't know.
kind of works.
That seems like such common sense, but I didn't
Because
even
it
think
saves
of that.
toilet paper and stuff too.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. That's actually kind of smart.
Yeah. And then if you obviously if it's the end of your period and you don't have another pad
Yeah.
to do it, don't like open a new one just for that. Just
Yeah.
wrap it in toilet paper.
That's smart. I didn't think of that. Okay, yeah. Your periods, for example.
Yeah.
Let's take turns sharing our periods because everybody's periods is different. If you don't want to share something, that's fine. Yeah. Like, do you want
Whoa.
to tell yours first? I could go first.
Okay, I'll go first. Honestly, I don't get cramps with my period. Mine is a regular flow.
Mhm.
Not much happens. Like, I don't crave chocolate or anything because a lot of women do. I don't really crave chocolate. I do find it tastes, depending on the chocolate, it does taste a little better.
Yeah, Zoe just gave Autumn the dirtiest look.
I did warn them before this that if I get mad at them as they're talking about this, just to let it go.
No one has to know.
It's not fair, okay?
Yeah, honestly, my period ain't anything special. I will say I have the alpha period. You know how syncing, you know how women, like when they hang around the same women constantly and stuff, their periods can sync and they have it at the same time.
Yeah.
Normally that happens, women they sync to my period. I have the alpha period.
Okay, calm down, Andrew Tate. Like-
Actually, Autumn, here, wait. Maybe you can edit this out if it's too TMI for you.
Okay, yeah.
But like, yours is not the alpha period because me and Navy are both synced on our periods right now, and you're not.
No, actually, that's because I am the Virgin Mary. Wait, no. Hear me out. My first ever period, got it like at 12 something, like it just turned to the next day. It was Easter Day, I kid you not. And then every single time it's Christmas, my period will skip sometimes, so I'm always on my period at Christmas. But one time it didn't. One time I missed my period for 62 days. And ever since then, no one's actually ever synced up to me.
That's like 2 months, right?
Yeah. I knew I wasn't pregnant because, like, you have to be doing stuff to get pregnant.
Autumn's pregnant.
So I'm the Virgin Mary. Virgin Mary without the baby.
I'm calling you that from now on.
Virgin Mary without the baby.
You don't have like emotional wise, like brain wise. Do you like find you're more like prone to anxiety or panic attacks?
Honestly, I'm normally always anxious.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay, one thing I want to talk about, this one is TMI, we can maybe edit this out if we think it's too gross. Period poops. Do you guys get them? Because I get them.
I get them.
I think, like, I don't know the science behind it, but I'm pretty sure it's because, like, hey, your uterus is by your intestines, so it's like it's filling up with blood. It's heavier. It's putting pressure on the intestines, so it's helping things run smoother.
Okay,
I get them, and like my stomach is already like really messed up. Okay, and yeah,
The
it's just lactose, and then I have like stomach problems and stuff, and yeah, it's not, and the period does not help. Let me tell you, it's
What about you, Navy?
oh god. Okay.
You don't have to answer.
No, okay. I don't mind. Like is okay. So yours, you lucky Virgin Mary, okay? You have no cramps.
I hate you, Autumn.
Yeah, Autumn, you okay. Sorry.
What
But,
can I say? I'm just that. I'm just like that.
okay. But like I think I'm in the middle because Autumn, she doesn't really, like you said, and we'll get to Zoe in a minute. But me, I do get mood swings. I get like heavily sad. Okay, I'm like, oh my god, what am I doing? Like, for my period, I usually get like, I don't know. I have a very heavy flow for one, but I have a very heavy flow, and I can't explain it. Like I have a heavy flow for one, but then it'll decide when it wants to. Like I'll just the beginning it starts off slow. Like the second day it's all hell breaks loose, tsunami. Okay, but like it decides when it wants to, but it specifically waits when I'm doing something important. Like I'll be like gym class. Nothing will happen during gym class. The second I change back into my pale blue jeans, that's when it happens. It waits. It despises me.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
My period always starts whenever I get out of the shower.
That is a hate crime.
It's horrible, okay? Like I'm always like out of the shower, getting dressed stuff. Period.
Mine normally starts like in the mornings when I'm getting ready for the morning, so I'm lucky with that because I'm already getting dressed for the morning. I'm like, oh, start my period.
Yeah.
Let me just grab a pad or something.
Yeah, because like I don't have like cramps. Sorry, Zoe, please don't look at me like that. I don't have like stomach cramps. I have the cramps that are like down there. It feels like you're being like kind of trigger warning, but it feels like you're being stretched open. Let go. Like those like candies where like they take like it's not electric, but like
Elastic?
kind of like they wrap it around a hook, they pull it,
Oh yes.
and then they loop it back up.
Taffy?
Yes, that is me. Like it hurts. I'll just be walking, and then all of a sudden it'll be like a stabbing pain that takes turns for like a good solid like 20 minutes, and then I'll stop. Then I get up, and then it starts again.
My question is, what flavor taffy? I'm sorry.
I need to edit that out. Okay.
No. Okay. Well, we're running out of time with Zoe, so Zoe, speak.
Okay, so my period, right? It's horrible. Okay, so let's start with the mood swings. Okay, I'm always like really sad, right? Like up before my period, like Navy said, and then like my mom says I get mad, but no, I don't. We don't listen to her.
PMS?
No, definitely not.
Definitely not.
Anyway, and then when I'm actually like get my cramps, okay, it's so bad. So I used to not be able to like my period cramps would get so bad that I would be like almost throwing up and I'd get like really dizzy, and I would have to stay home from school. So like I missed a lot of days because like of my period and stuff, and it's a really really heavy flow. And maybe I know what you mean by
Taffy.
Taffy. Yeah,
Taffy?
I know what you mean by that, but it doesn't happen to me as often. It's more so period cramps.
Yeah.
And do you want me to mention the pill?
If you'd like.
Okay. I actually had to start taking birth control.
How scandalous.
Not any scandalous reasons. Okay. I had to start taking it because of my cramps and stuff. They were so bad. So my grandmother's like.
So any men listening, birth control can help with cramps.
And
Okay.
any man listening,
Yeah.
and you're gross, this is for the gross men out there. Just because she's taking birth control for a period does not mean she's taking it for you.
No, she's taking it from me.
Autumn, please.
Cut that out.
Edit that out.
But yeah, if your like partner is taking birth control for their period, don't be like, no, like she's taking that because like she's gonna die without it. Like she's gonna.
And Autumn and Navy can confirm. Yesterday, I actually had really bad period cramps. And it was.
I was kind of scared, to be honest. Like, I don't want to freak you out, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure you looked a tad pale. I think it was from all the blood loss.
We gotta bid Zoe farewell.
Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye,
Bye.
Zoe.
Wish me luck with Mr. House class.
Let's send her off with some ASMR.
Oh God, here, Zoe, have a tampon. Have a tampon. She's flicking a tampon against the mic.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye. Bye, Zoe.
Bye. Okay, we're back. Zoe's gone now. We lost her. She had to go to class. But what we were talking about and stuff, like I find there's like this taboo behind like periods and stuff. Like it's like women are impure, dirty, or like sinful when they're like on the periods and stuff, and it's just like it's not like that. It's common.
Yeah, like you think, and that's another thing. Just because someone has a period, this feels like common sense. Like I'd understand someone that doesn't have it, they might be grossed out or be like whatever. But just because you also have it doesn't mean you can really have an opinion about it. You know what I mean? So, especially periods, to put it bluntly, it's a massacre. It's a massacre of your body and your brain. Okay, like the psychological the stress you go through and the process your brain puts you in. Your brain, depending on what your body's going through with the whole processing, it goes into a panic to the point where you can have panic attacks, severe depression, even like possibility of other things that you shouldn't do. Everybody's different, but so if you were to go to a doctor, especially, and you have, not everyone's the same, you could have multiple things wrong, but it could be so brushed off as your period that like it's just not okay.
Speaking about that, I talked to a health worker the other day, and like this is about like the hormones and stuff. I have like chronic headaches and migraines and all that stuff. They said that my migraines seem to be getting out of control, and that it's probably a hormonal imbalance. And she said that as I get older, and like I kind of stop puberty and stuff, that it may go away, but she believes it might be a hormonal imbalance.
What would that mean? Would that mean you take medication or?
Yeah, like take a medication for it, or something to get my hormones balanced.
Do you find that like when you're near like your actual period that like you start to get migraines or they get worse or?
No, but actually, like that's not it. That's why like an hormonal imbalance can cause migraines and stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like women, when they're like going to get their period or like they're about to start, they will actually get migraines, and they will actually get migraines and stuff. So like I'm constantly asked, "Oh, are you on your period? Are you about to start your period?" And it's like, no, it's chronic.
Yeah.
For me and stuff, because when you're going to get your period, your hormones are imbalanced. My hormones might be imbalanced all the time, causing the migraines all the time.
Okay. Okay, so if you were, I don't even know what to say to that. I'll be real honest. So, hormonal, that word, okay? That doesn't, so even though it may not be affecting your period, it's like, it's affecting.
Yeah, she thinks it's.
How does that work, though? Like, what's the science behind that?
I'm not completely sure. I'm just saying what she said.
But, like, that's another thing. Like, that's something I feel like you have to get tested for.
Yeah, she does. Like, it's not completely confirmed, but that's what she thinks.
But, like, back onto the topic with doctors and all that stuff, like, migraine especially, You said you don't really think it is involved with your period.
No, because like I said, it's when women are about to get the period and stuff, they
Mhm.
get migraines then. With me, it's constant, it's chronic.
Like right now.
Yes, I constantly have a headache or I have a migraine.
Right now.
Yeah, constantly. Right now I have a headache, yeah.
I would not have known. Like you do. Like usually when someone has like a headache or a migraine, they're like, or like they're really tired, but you don't seem.
Well, it became chronic in grade 9, but like I've been having like migraines and stuff since grade 7, like the bad ones.
Jesus.
So like your body kind of gets used to it. And she thinks it's a lot of like my migraines are getting out of control because I am actually tired all the time.
You don't have to answer this, of course, but like, when is your next?
I don't know. I just let it surprise me.
What if you're like, what if one day you're like, you know what, I'm gonna wear white jeans today?
I don't own white jeans.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
It is.
Okay, anyone that wears white jeans, no offense, but what the heck? You are very bold. Like, how are you not scared? How are you not like
Well,
paranoid?
they probably track theirs.
Oh, true. Like, but not even just that. The amount of times, like, I'll like rub my eye and forget I'm wearing mascara and then wipe it off on my pants is actually a problem. Like, my white pants would look tie dyed at the end of the day.
I don't like to wear like white sweaters, and I don't own white pants because like it'll get dirty.
Yeah.
Because like, can we not sometimes like you're eating macaroni and stuff, and one just falls off and it lands on your sweater. You're wearing a white sweater. You're like, damn.
Yeah, like it's awful. But what else though? Like,
No, you want to know one thing though? The healthcare worker that I talked to, she was female. My family doctor, like, no, dissing him or anything. He's male and stuff. Nothing was brought up about hormones until her
mm-hmm,
and all that stuff. Because I do take a medication,
mm-hmm.
but it only stops to get rid of the migraines. I still constantly have a headache, and sometimes some migraines.
Sorry.
It's good. Sometimes some migraines still like come through and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. And lately, like it's been getting worse, and I'm tired all the time, so I had to like stop taking my medication because it makes me extremely tired. That's one of the side effects. And nothing was brought about hormones or anything until I met up with a female healthcare worker.
Yeah, because like me personally, for example, I never went to like a doctor or even a hospital for my periods and stuff like that.
No, like this isn't for my periods and stuff. It's just like,
No, I know, but like what I mean is like doctors in general.
yeah,
Like I went to the doctor the other day and he's like, "Well, how's your flow?" Like he just brought it up. Like nothing affected that. But like thinking about something that could be caused because of that and then it be completely brushed over and confused for like, "Oh, well, you're not sleeping right." But maybe you're not sleeping right because of your brain like, "Oh, well, you're on your period." Whoa. And yeah.
one thing I do find is that a lot of time, like medical stuff, it's based off of like research done on men, not women.
Mm-hmm.
So like especially heart attacks, because women like this is scientifically proven. Sometimes like your period, it can get like so painful, it can feel like a heart attack.
Yeah.
So like
Mm-hmm.
women scientifically, they're just better with pain normally.
We're just better.
Better with the alphas.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're better with pain. So like heart attacks, they have different symptoms, and they're better with handling pain. That oftentimes it's just like, oh, you just have acid reflux, or oh, it's just your period. Go home.
Yeah.
And they're straight up having a heart attack.
There is. That's with a lot of things though. Like my friend, not gonna say who, she had to go to the doctor because like her periods were so bad. Like, so for example, she couldn't go to school, but it's getting to the point now where she couldn't like get up to use the bathroom, or like she was just curled up in a ball. To the point where she went to the doctor. And here's something kind of scary. Okay, there was two options for her. There's a female doctor and there's a male doctor. The female doctor, she'd be awake and like they do the check. Like they put
Like the pap smear?
yeah, I think yeah. They just check down there. But the thing with the male doctor is he could check, but he'd put you to sleep. And the thing is that not all the time a woman would have someone with them, and sometimes you're not allowed to. Now, I'm not saying anything would happen, but that is a scary thought when you're like like you're asleep and you're alone with a man you don't know checking down there. Not only is the situation uncomfortable, but now you're asleep and you're vulnerable.
Yes, but like you hear stories all the time about someone being asleep and something happens, and like not saying all men,
No,
but like a
no.
lot of time it's women and the men are the one who do it. Like there are times like women either do it, like they're
Yeah,
the ones who do it. It's the man who's sleeping or anyone sleeping.
yeah,
Like that's kind of disgusting.
yeah.
But pap smears and stuff, like apparently they hurt. My mom, she had cervical cancer. She had to get like pap smears all the time. She says she would rather take a male doctor anytime because they're apparently more gentle. Like you would think the women would be more gentle and stuff, but my mom says that males, they're normally more gentle because they don't want to hurt you. They don't have that stuff. They don't
Yeah,
exactly like know the pain. Like you would, they know the stuff because like they're a doctor.
yeah,
But like they don't want to hurt. They're like wary because they're like, oh, there's this female. I'm looking down here like, oh, I'm gonna be real careful. I'm gonna be real gentle. But like pap smears and stuff too. They like, especially like inserting IUD. They hurt. I don't know. I've never been through that. But like you hear stories and they're like horror stories. It's like men when they get like vasectomies and stuff, or like they get like that's something like heading into like their balls and stuff, as awkward as this is to talk about. But like sure
yeah,
they're getting something cut in their balls, but like they get a needle and stuff. This is something like going into you roughly, and a lot of times they need to lubricate like what's going in you, the thing that like opens you up and like holds you open so they can look.
yes.
They need to like lubricate it, and a lot of times it's in you for so long that it all dries up because like yeah, and they need to take it out and it's sticking to you like on the inside, and it hurts like
Yeah,
especially like IUDs that's going through your cervix, like that's like, have you seen an IUD? They're kind of like, they're not like huge, but they're kind of big. That's gonna go in through your cervix, through this little hole in your cervix that microscopic like sperms are supposed to go through,
okay, okay.
and all that stuff. Like it's supposed to go through there. Nothing, no like freezing, no like what is it called, anesthesia
Yeah,
and stuff. Nothing. So honestly, I would rather go with the male doctor and get.
yeah, because like you said a second ago, like obviously it's not all men, but the statistics are higher. Like I don't. Okay, I need to stress this enough. We are making this to make things more like, everything's. We're not like trying to judge anyone. No, we're just trying to like make it more acceptable. But the thing is that with women statistics, it's 1 in 3 women that something happens, and it's 1 in 7 men that something happens. And not to say that it is all men, but there is a higher chance. So don't anyone be like, oh well, you're feminist. No, like this is it happens to people, okay? But it's just scary.
Like yeah, like like at school here, like not saying this is all men and all stuff.
No.
This can be women too, but I hear men talking. Like I've heard men talking about how they want to like rape women
Yeah.
and stuff at school. Like going up the stairs, walking through the halls. Like how they want to like rape women and how they're like gonna hold her down. I never heard of any women here at school say something like that.
The only like vulgar thing I heard a woman say was when I was in the bathroom. It always happens in the bathroom. Is she was talking about how like she was thinking about baby trapping someone, but she wouldn't do it because that's wrong. Keep in mind, she said that is wrong. Okay, and like there was at our school, like 2 women came in. They were teaching us about like consent and sexual assault. Okay, we were like all sitting together, me, Autumn, like our friend group, but there was like 4 dudes behind us, and this like amazing woman that made this program is talking about like her own personal experiences, like her trauma. Like this is like severe stuff that happens in her life, and she was saying how like she almost died because of like her abuser that was in her relationship.
And
And
like her kids almost died.
yeah, like this very traumatic situation that was very brave of her to even talk about. And these 4 dudes behind us had the audacity to be like, oh, I would have finished the job.
No, they
What?
They didn't say I would have finished the job. They said I'm gonna finish this job. Like they're gonna actually do it. Like
And that's like, it's one thing, like, I know, like, we joke about like pretty inappropriate stuff, but it is different when you don't know the person, that is something severe and traumatic, and especially when it's something so serious.
yeah.
Like,
And like with us, if someone says I'm not comfortable with that, please stop.
yeah.
We'll stop. We'll stop. Like
Yeah.
most of the time, we have to get closer to the person
Yeah,
and
like
stuff, and we know if they're gonna be kind of comfortable or not. And if like we misjudge and like I'm not comfortable with that, we stop. We
Yeah.
have boundaries.
Yeah, because people, like, if you joke around people and, like, you say, I can't say the words because, like, trigger warning, but, like, if you say, like, KYS, okay? Like, people joke around that. I know our friend group jokes like that sometimes. But if in the friend group someone's, like, not doing well and they're like, hey, like, can you not respect that? Like, if people don't respect that, like I said many times before, find someone else, because it is scary to be by yourself, but like dealing with like such a traumatic thing. And like that woman came in, she was scared to leave because this was like one person, like he manipulated her into thinking that she was the most amazing thing, and then he switched on her, and then she began to think like, oh well, what could I do? What did I do wrong when he was doing this
She said
stuff?
that she thought that having like bad love, like toxic love, is better than no love.
Yeah, that is not the case. Like, for example,
Like,
my book. Okay, quick disclaimer. I am reading a questionable book, okay? I'm not going to go into details. I'm not going to get into details. But in short, this man, he loves her, okay? He says that. But he's stalking her, and it's just this whole thing, okay? He's manipulating this girl into loving him while he's abusing her, basically. And it's the worst part is that the book writes it so well that you like start to think, oh well,
it's fine.
it's fine. She like the book is written so well that it starts to trick you, but the book is manipulating you. If that were to ever happen to you, regardless of the situation, you would start to feel the book makes you understand what she's going through. Like you yourself reading this book start to feel helpless and that you can't do anything and that you should just accept it. But in reality, regardless of any situation where you like feel helpless or you don't know what to do, there is something you can do. Please do it in person though, because like even though it would be more awkward, it is safer in person to talk to someone you trust and that is safe, because online anything could be
Plus,
traced.
if you are dating someone toxic and like they look at like what you're searching up, if you like your records, if you forget to delete or something, that could be bad.
Yeah.
And like talking about this, like the manipulation and stuff, that's not consent.
No.
And all that stuff. And like talking about like consent, like the medical field, kind of like going off there. Have you heard of the husband stitch?
The what?
The husband stitch.
Sounds familiar.
It's basically, it happens most of the time when women give birth. Like baby comes out, it's big most of the time. Like it's like it tears and stuff. And so they have to stitch it back up. A lot of times, like, for the husband's pleasure and stuff during, like, intercourse and stuff, they will add an extra stitch. And that's supposed to make the woman hate it. And it will, because, like, it's closing her shut more. And it makes it less pleasurable, and it hurts the woman. But it makes it more pleasurable for the man. And that happened, like you can still find cases today. And a lot of times, doctors will ask the husband, like, do you want me to, like, not a lot of times now, but, like, back then, they were like, do you want me to add a husband stitch? Want me to add an extra stitch for your pleasure? And yeah, and plus, like, imagine if she had, like, if that happens and, like, when a woman gave birth.
Yeah.
If she has another kid, that's just going to make it more difficult and more painful.
Yeah, because it heals that way.
Yeah,
it heals smaller.
Yeah, if she gives birth again, that's a small hole. It tore, and when it was bigger, the hole, and
like
it will just probably lead to more complications, and like her life might be at risk.
Yeah, because like now, thank God, it's more like women have a more like, hey, we don't want that.
They have like more.
They have more say.
Yeah, more rights and stuff like this.
Thank God. But it's sad to say that we're slowly backtracking. Like, even today with, like, since COVID, for one thing, the statistics for, like, abuse and sexual assault have skyrocketed. It is disgustingly bad. Like, I will admit, like, everyone being home, like, mental illness-wise, that went horribly wrong. But being alone in a dark room with, like, just, like, your family, and even people being stuck with people that were not in a safe situation to begin with, now being stuck with them for, like, I don't know, like a year, it felt like. It felt longer. But it just, being stuck with that, and now you cannot leave.
Yeah.
And
Like, you can't be like, oh, I'm going to meet up with someone. Oh, I need to, like, buy groceries and all this. Because, like, you're stuck there.
yeah, and that's another thing. Like, it's not everyone, for one, but the brain is very easily tricked. Like, especially social media wise, especially children, okay? Being alone, I personally believe you should not give a kid technology at all until they are, like, within reason and have a good reason to use it. But the sad thing is that now that we live in a generation where we're kind of backtracking and kids are being exposed to, like, pornography and
Actually,
stuff.
I would say that's not backtracking. It's not good going forward, but
No.
it is going forward because back then they didn't, it was like taboo to even show that to kids and stuff. Now,
Well, yeah.
it's like, now it's being like opened and stuff, like open for them. And I wouldn't say that's backtracking because it wasn't like that before at all.
No, like,
Now it's like that now,
yeah.
and it's,
what I mean by backtracking, I mean is, like, more hate. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, back in, like, my mom even told me about this. Like, back when she was in high school, there was so much hate. Like, if you were, like, you came out as, like, gay, you would be jumped. And now, thank God, that's more acceptable. But what I mean by backtracking is that there's more hate. And even though we have more access to, like, these things kids should not have access to, it's also manipulating their brains into thinking, oh, this is okay. This is okay. I can do this. They're doing it. I can do this.
Especially when you're young because you're more impressionable and you're more likely to give into peer pressure.
So, and that's another thing. There's no, like, I don't want to say programs, but, like, no one could educate someone at a very young age and be like, within reason. Like,
Like, that would be too much like,
that's too much for the brain to process. Like,
and it would be too controversial to begin with. Like,
yeah,
it would be shut down immediately.
yeah. Like, my teacher showed, like, this triangle. Not, it's just, like, levels.
Oh, the hierarchy is like Moscow, something like hierarchy. I don't know. It's hierarchy.
It's something like that. But, like, it's the stages that you need to, like, as a human. Like, you need them. Like, the first one, for example. I don't remember them all in order, but basically they
Like,
were saying how,
The
like,
bottom.
yeah, like, the first one is, like, common sense. Like, it was different levels. It was, like, common sense, respect, self-love. Self-love was the top, okay? You need to understand, like, the first one that you need to understand to proceed as a human is trust. And without trust, you don't have anything. Like, if you don't trust anyone, you're going to be closed off. You're not going to talk to people, especially at a very young age. So, like, if you're in an abusive home at a very young age, especially for women, and you are being assaulted at such a very young age, that, like, something like that is, like, not only is it a thing where you should have consent, but not only is it traumatic, but that affects you for so long. And not having that trust or that communication, especially at a young age, that's, like, that is not good. Like, I can't stress how awful that is just in general, but on the brain itself to that person. Especially when you grow up. That kid could grow up to think that's normal.
Yeah.
And then that's, anyways, it's just not good.
Yep. Speaking about like consent and like the like brain, like the traumatic things like about that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about the history of gynecology?
Oh, yay, that's fun history
Yeah.
there.
Basically, in the 1840s, an Alabama physician, his name was James Marion Sims.
Yeah.
I'm bad with names.
Yeah.
He is known as the father of gynecology, and it makes me feel yucky once you know, because he decided because in like the 1840s and stuff, you have to remember a lot of times slaves like were still a thing and they weren't seen as humans
No, it was
and all that stuff.
no.
So what this dude did, I have like morbid curiosity, and I don't know.
Yeah.
And since they didn't, like, he thought it was, I don't know if, like, I don't want to, like, be like, oh, like, defend him or anything, but
No.
he was right. You do have to understand it was a different time. These people weren't seen as humans, so it would have been like doing experiments on, like, rats like we do now.
Yeah, it's awful to even say.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But like back then it was not a good time. Like okay, why is everything not good? Okay. First off, let's just that one thing you said. Keep in mind, Autumn said father. Father. Two, not only is he doing this to people that are not considered people at the time, he's curious about it.
Yeah. But basically, what he did is he would only do it on black women, like the black slaves,
Mm-hmm.
and he would bound them to a surgical table,
Mm-hmm.
and he would force opium in them if they were lucky, to try to, like, as like for anesthesia, but it wasn't anesthesia.
No.
And a lot of time it got like the people addicted to it, and it didn't really work for pain or anything. But then he would do morbid, like horrific experiments on them, and that's how we did get to where we are in gynecology today, and how we know so much. But like, it's disgusting
It is.
because here, let me read something about what he did. Um, so he sought to repair horribly disabling complications of protracted childbirth, including vesicovaginal fistulas. I'm not saying that right,
Yeah.
probably. Um, but basically, that caused constant leaking of urine and feces and resulted in pain and infection, odor, skin problems, and, wasn't researched then, so they didn't fix it. So a lot of the women in that area were like pariahs. So for enslaved women, he would like he would do experiments on them trying to fix that, and a lot of time they would just mutilate them. Like, they could not give birth if they ever wanted to, which honestly, like, would they want to though? Put a kid back and like
I
to
did it.
that situation, but like, I guess they wouldn't even have to say if they wanted children because but yeah.
There was actually where was it? Not here. There was Colombia, I want to say. Yeah, my aunt went to Colombia and she went to this like museum place about like history of like the slaves there and some of the women, like the servants, they called them servants. And she was pregnant and like there was actors there because like it was a haunted house like slide. It was this thing. Like, they were just teaching the history. But there was this woman and she gave birth to this child and she's crying and she's by a balcony. And this was like an actual thing. They would throw their children off the balcony because they didn't want them to live a life of slavery. And that is awful. And especially with the fact that like maybe not wanting to have children because you don't want them to have the future of slavery, but not even being able to have the option to have a child. Not only that, but having that all of that trauma and like those triggers, just
Yeah, the problem is, like, after these experiments and stuff, it ruined their bodies because, like, you know how I said, like, before, like,
yeah,
the condition thing, but it would, like, make them leak fluid and, like, feces and all that stuff. Like, imagine, like, he was doing experiments on these women. Imagine how messed up that left them. Because he would mutilate them and just let them be. But that means they couldn't work. So in, like, I don't want to say this, but, like, the owners, kind of,
yeah.
like, they couldn't work. That left them valuableless to them.
It's so gross. Like I can't like stress how disgusting that must be. Like And even if they were able to work, not being able to control your bladder or any of that stuff, and like they were out there for like a good while, depending on their job. Just
And you want to know what really icks me the wrong way?
Hmm.
That the father, James, the physician who did this all,
Mhm.
he like, he was quoted saying that wait, what was the quote again? But basically he was saying, he was like saying like, oh, these women are so brave, all this stuff.
Yeah. Autumn was talking to me about this, and she was saying how like this man would say, "Oh, they signed up, like they offered this for medical purposes." No, they did not.
They didn't. They did not have a say. They weren't seen as humans, basically. Like, they were seen as property.
That is
Like, it's really bad to sound, especially because to say, because like, especially because I'm right and we're kind
Yeah.
of both right, but like, I'm not defending like that.
no,
That's
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, not only, okay, just to clarify, this is not good, okay? We are not agreeing with any of this. We are saying this is bad. This is the history of how our women's health was, like, found out. And even now, it's still kind of a mess. Like, if you want to go to the doctor and be like, hey, I want to get my tubes tied, depending on if you're married, they have to ask your husband for consent.
Not anymore. That's how it used to be.
Some
like,
countries.
Some countries, yes. But like here in Canada and stuff, they don't have to ask your husband anymore. But a lot of times, like comparative vasectomies, like men, they're like, oh, I want a vasectomy. They're like, okay, when do you want it? When do you want it to be booked? And they just book it. They're like, okay, I'll come in then. With women, a lot of times it's like, oh, what if you want children? What this?
Yeah.
Having your tubes tied is reversible. Like, yeah, it could
Same
cause
with,
some
like,
problems, but like
Yeah.
most of the time it's reversible, and they're just denied because like, oh,
yeah.
you don't know really now.
Yeah.
Make up your mind later, and they're like, come back later, like, I have made up my mind. I do want them tied. They're like, oh, sorry, we can't do that. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and like another thing, like STIs, like those are reversible as well. Like
Some,
yeah, but like
they're not
Even-
reversible. They're treatable.
yeah, they're treated. Yeah, whatever. But like my friend has one. She has one of those, but like there's still a chance she could get pregnant with that, and that's another thing. Some doctors have the audacity to say you're not like eligible to have this. Like there is an age restriction. Anything under 18, like you should think about it first because your brain's still processing. But like when you're older and you're like, hey, I really don't want kids, you know? Like that's not something I want. You should be able to have a say of your own body and be like, hey, doctor person, I don't want kids. I'm over 18. Hey, you know, this might even help with my severe pain with periods and making me not so sick. Can you help me, please? And they'll be like,
No,
you're not eligible. What? What do you mean? What do you mean
it's
by
like,
that?
how like,
What
why
is
am I not?
Yeah, why am I
eligible?
not eligible? And like I want to say I don't understand, but I kind of do. Like
Because like the brain is still developing. Your frontal cortex doesn't fully develop until you're 25. But that's like, if you have ADHD too, it actually takes longer for it to develop. I'm not sure if that happens like with anything else, but I do know that with ADHD. So like, if they do want to have these rules in place and stuff, and like you can drive, you can drink already, so
Yeah.
it's like it makes no sense. But like if you really like, oh, if you're not fully developed, all this stuff, you're still young. Like have it like once you turn 25, like you're free to do that. Like
yeah,
no restrictions. Well, some restrictions depending. Like yeah.
it's just and like there is exceptions, of course. Like my friend, she's under 18. She has an IUD, it's something like that. I don't know the names for them, but she went to this place and like if she wanted to change that, she would have to go to Moncton to like get
Like inner abortion stuff.
yeah, like if she didn't want a baby, she would have to go to Moncton.
Or Fredericton.
Yeah, because I'd understand people like saying like, "Oh, I want a baby," and that's completely fine if people are like, "Oh, I don't agree with that. Like, if you don't agree with it, that's fine. That's your belief. But at the same time, if someone else gets it, that's not your decision. That's
Yeah.
somebody else's. Like, if you have a baby and you don't want it,
It
please,
should be a choice.
yeah, it should be your choice.
Your
But
body, your choice.
yeah, but at the same time, please do not use abortion as a type of birth control.
Yeah, that's dangerous for you
No,
even.
yeah.
That could lead to your death.
It's dangerous for you. It, at the same time, for someone that might need it and might be on like a timeline, because like some people don't find out until later, you could possibly take their chance. Like, just be responsible with it. I'm not saying, oh, abortion's bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that please be responsible and like don't just go out and be like, hey, I don't have birth control. I don't have condoms. But like, just be responsible, please. That's
Yeah.
all anybody asks.
And plus, like, we don't have a clinic here, so like that's why you'd have to like travel. But like, I know someone, and I don't know them personally, but like I know of them.
Yeah.
They got like pregnant like multiple times and stuff, and like their parents went against abortion or anything, but
Mhm.
like they didn't want to go tell because it's like so taboo. So like, ooh, I'm underage and stuff because she was underage.
Yeah.
And she got pregnant like 3 times underage, and she just took a clothes hanger and aborted it there.
What?
Yeah, she did it 3 times with the clothes hanger, and each time she punctured her uterus. And she was rushed to the hospital each time she lost her baby. So, I mean, like, she met her goal, but, like, did you want to in that way?
Like, I'd understand it might be like embarrassing or you might feel shame for getting an abortion. That's completely understandable. But at the same time, like, you could end up paralyzed if you're not careful.
You could end up dead.
Like, exactly. Like, you could bleed to death. You could puncture, like, you could ruin, like, those bits. So later down the road, if you wanted to have a baby, you don't have the option. Like, it's the options of what could happen is horrifically bad. So please do it responsibly. And that's another thing I want to bring up. There was a thing, I don't think it was in Canada, I think it was in the US, but they were like trying to cancel all abortion clinics.
Oh, the U.S.?
I think I heard something about that. They were trying to like,
Oh, yeah, like, I'm pretty sure it's banned in some states now.
yeah, like, what the heck?
You, like, the U.S., like, a lot of them, like, I'm not going, like, oh, Christianity bad. No,
Yeah,
like,
no.
I don't care, like, if you believe in God or not. Like,
No,
that's
yeah.
you. Just respect my opinions. I respect yours.
Yeah,
And also, like, just respect other people. Be mindful. But banning abortion, that's against the law in the U.S. because they have a thing, I don't know exactly because it's the U.S., but it's like, oh, other religions, you have to think about, like, other religions and stuff. Because Jewish people, like, I don't know exactly the things. Like, I'm not Jewish. I don't know any Jewish people and stuff.
yeah.
But basically, to sum it up, if the mother's life is in danger because of the baby, from the religion, they are like, it's mandatory for them to
Yeah.
have an abortion.
I heard about that. Yeah, if the woman's like life is in danger, they'll put
The woman's life comes first before the baby. So
yeah, because like
scientifically, it is like an embryo and all that stuff. Like it
Yeah.
kind of is life scientifically.
it is life. Yes.
The Bible even, like, because I'm not dissing Christians again, but I'm just like trying to prove a point here,
Yeah.
I guess. In the Bible, because there's a lot of Christians that are saying like abortion bad, like scientifically it kind of is a life and stuff.
No, yeah, like
But
it's a baby.
in the Bible, it's actually not, because in the Bible it says life starts at like the first breath or something like that. And if people are like, oh, but if you abort it, you're sending it to hell. Actually, in the Bible, it also says like children get sent to the heaven, like children automatically get sent to heaven. So
Yeah.
the child, the mother clearly doesn't want it. See, like, how would the baby grow up with a mom who doesn't want it, or even like parents who don't want it?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you rather it go to heaven and like be happy, be in a good place?
Yeah, because like what I mean by it's not a baby, obviously it's life, it's developing. Like anything that is like
It's a fetus. It's
Yes.
not a baby.
it's a fetus. Like a baby, a fetus is like it's like a frog. A fetus is like a tadpole, and the baby is turning like the fetus is turning
No,
into the baby.
I would say actually, the fetus is like the egg,
Yeah.
and then the baby's the tadpole, and then
Yeah, like the whole the whole terms, okay? But basically, just because I think that's not like fully a baby yet, it's still life. I'm not saying that's not life. I'm saying that it's developing into something. Like malnourished babies, for example, they're still like they were too early, so they weren't fully babies yet. Like they're still in that process of becoming born. So like they have to stay in like these chambers to fully be healthy.
Yeah, basically to me, it comes to the point where like, you know how like this might be bad, but like, you know how like a lot of people, it's like, oh, someone's like brain dead, so they pull the plug and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Or like someone can't live without like help, like the in hospital, like they can't live without it, so a lot of times they will pull the plug
Yeah.
and stuff. A baby can't, like, not baby, but like a fetus, like a baby, of course, like it can't live without its mother and stuff, but like it will, like, but that kind of makes sense. Like a fetus, even if it's left like from a minute from its mother, like without help and stuff, like even like a minute, it's gonna die probably.
Mm-hmm.
Like it cannot, like a baby, it can cry, like it can be like, oh, I want like milk, all this stuff.
It can give you signals.
It can give you signals. A fetus, it can cry depending on how far it is, but like it it's still like a baby, it's its own separate thing. A fetus needs to be attached to the mother. Like it's still supposed to be in the mom.
Mm-hmm.
It can't live without like the mom or whatever. Like
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like if someone had a different opinion, I'm not going to argue with them. Like if they believe like, "Oh, that's a baby. That's living." I'm not agreeing with you. That is living, but it's not fully a baby yet.
scientifically, like it's living, but scientifically it's
like,
not a baby.
Yeah, like I'm not religious, but if someone was like, "Oh, well, the Bible, that's fine. That's what you believe in." But at
Like,
the same
I'll
time,
respect that.
yeah,
Just respect me.
we will respect what you say, and like we hope that you would respect what we say. But at the same time, not everyone is brought up the same way as well. So if I was like, people were born like heavily Christian homes and abortion was against the law, like in their home, that's your family. That's your decision. But if I'm not, you can't judge me for being brought up differently. But at the same time, there's morals. Like if my morals were like, oh, I'm 9 months pregnant, I'm gonna
I
do
don't
stuff.
think that's even possible. I think that's too far along.
That's what I mean. Like if people think like, I'm 9 months pregnant, I'm gonna do stuff, like that's a bit far away now. I don't think you can get abortion. You can't. But like at the same time, if you're 9 months pregnant and you're like, oh, I don't want this baby, you can. That's too far along to get an abortion, but like you don't have to keep that baby.
You can put up for adoption, but I hate that. Like I hate when people are like, I don't want a kid and stuff, and like they're like, oh yeah, I could get an abortion. Nah, I'm just gonna keep it. Like because like that should be good, but like it is good for them, I guess. But the foster care, that system, it's all
awful.
messed up.
Yeah, like, and that's another thing. I'd understand like you don't want to have an abortion, you don't have to have a baby, but at the same time, please be responsible. Like, if you don't have an abortion, that's completely fine.
Like just
you don't want to keep it, that's fine. But at the same time, don't keep the baby. Don't not get an abortion and then have a baby you don't want for the rest of your life, and then that child be ruined because you're not there for it the way it should be.
Like you should think about yourself, but like if you do decide to keep the baby, try to think of its future and like
like once that baby is born into the world, whether you keep it or not, that's a life you brought into the world, responsible or not. Like if you decide to keep that baby, please do whatever you can to help it, but please also understand that you can't like that's your responsibility regardless if later down the road you put it into foster care. You brought a life into the world fully as a baby, not as a fetus, as a full living thing that will develop into like a person. And people,
well, it is a person technically now.
yeah, like adult person, but
like it actually
with its own brain, like its own thoughts, its own like as a baby, especially when you're like under 5, your brain's still developing. Like you don't understand. Like if you're 5 years old and your mom doesn't love you the way it should because you are not meant to be, like you're gonna think your whole life you're not important, and then you're gonna be, your brain's just not gonna feel what it needs to. You're not gonna have that trust and that love, and then you're not gonna be up those steps to be your own person, but like try to please others because you didn't get what you needed. So to put it bluntly, if you're going to have a baby, please think of yourself and that kid.
Yeah.
When it's an actual kid, not 3 months.
Kind of like that, like saying like they don't get what they need and stuff. Like in sociology class,
Yeah.
we did watch something and it's like, oh, feral children. That's kind
Yeah.
of like what they're called and stuff. Where basically they're not getting what they need. They're not like socializing and all that stuff, and they're just like, there was a case where like a girl, she was like locked in a room, like tied to a chair and all that stuff, and when she got out and all that stuff, she was making good progress and all that stuff. She was curious about the world, but she couldn't speak and all that stuff. It took a long time for her to be there, and it's just like
It was too late.
it was too late. Like she is forever going to have this setback. She's not going to have the same opportunities and all that stuff because of something that was out of her control, because of something that was done to her, because of the abuse. Like, it affected her, like, the brain, like, it needs that socialization. It needs this development because, like, when we're young, we learn from others. We learn this. We learn how to speak from others. That's how babies learn how to speak. She didn't get any of that, so...
Yeah. Like, your brain is on a time limit, in a way. Like, when you are a certain age, your brain can only take in so much of what it needs to. Like, this girl, I think at the time when they found her, she was, like, 16 or 15, around that time.
I'm not completely sure, but, like, yeah, she was a bit older.
Yeah, she was a bit older, and she wasn't, like, still, like, developing. Like, after a certain time in your life, your brain can only process so much more. And then if you, like, didn't have any, like, encouragement, your brain will stay at that age. So, like, she could be 16 years old, but have the brain set of a 4-year-old. So that is why it's very important to, like, I understand, like, adults might need breaks, but at the same time, don't neglect your child because that could set them back.
Yeah.
So just be responsible. And this is coming from 2 teenagers.
Yep. And one was given unrestricted internet access in grade 1. So I know what I'm talking about that stuff. I've seen some stuff. Let's just say.
I mean, I had access to the internet, but I don't think it was that
Like,
vulgar.
I was no means neglected and all that stuff. Like, no means, like, I had a good childhood and all that stuff. It's just, like, you need to be watching your children. Watching, like, what they're watching. Like, don't be controlling and all that stuff. You have to give them some freedom, some independence. But, like, they still need you. They're still developing and all that stuff.
Like an iPad, for example, that can only do so much. You know what I mean? Like, and not only that, but, like, that affects your eyes. Like,
yeah.
And love my family, okay? I always will. But I saw my cousin legit not even a foot away from their screen, like at least 2 inches in front of their face. And they're, like, cross-eyed, trying to, like, just, I don't even know what they're playing. I think they were playing, like, a $2 budget game of Spider-Man that looked like it was made in 2004, like, swinging along. What is that teaching your kid? What is Spider-Man in 2004 teaching your children? Please pay attention. Also, keep in mind, I was watching what was on his tablet, and, like, he went on YouTube. This kid is 5 years old at the time. He goes on YouTube, and I'm, like, going over to see what he's watching because I'm curious. I'm like, to be honest, I like YouTube too. Guess what he does?
What?
He turns away. He doesn't want me seeing what's on his YouTube. And not only that, his brain taught him whatever he's watching is not good. Keep that in mind. His brain taught him that's not good, but he's still watching it.
Honestly, when I was younger, though, if I wasn't watching anything bad, like, without thinking, like, I would do that, not because, like, oh, instinctively, like, turn away. A lot of times, like, they would try to, like, talk to me about it. I was like, I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. I'm watching something.
I want to say it was that, like, leave me alone. And, like, I don't know, maybe he was embarrassed because, like, he was watching, like, a Minecraft YouTube channel.
I love Minecraft.
Me too. But, like, this kid wouldn't even, like, he ended up going upstairs to be alone. Like, he didn't want you seeing it at all.
Like, even if it's like, oh, I don't want to talk to you, it goes back to the socialization thing. Like, kids need socialization.
They need connection. Like, without connection or, like, even physical contact. There was a study of, like, monkeys. I love monkeys.
I know, I would treat those monkeys so much better.
Yeah, there was, like, this study of, like, a monkey, and he had an option to go against a metal like machine that was cold that had milk, and this other machine that had like soft blankets. That's it, warm soft blankets. He chose the warm soft blanket every time to the point where he was like almost sickly starving.
Yeah, there were some monkeys because I did it on multiple where they would kind of like go to the like one with the blankets and stuff, but when they were like really hungry and stuff, like when they needed to eat, like they
Yeah.
physically couldn't handle it anymore, they would go to the metal one for a little bit, drink some milk, go back to the.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But like, think of that for a child without
Like,
like
That's the child is going to something like they're going to like the tablet. Let's say that's the milk. They're not getting that the blanket monkey. The fake blanket.
they're not getting what they should get, and that's what sucks about this. Because like again, to back what I said, 9 months, 8 months, you can't get an abortion. That's a baby now.
Yeah, luckily there's like abortion pills now, so if you do wanna.
Yeah, but like basically in short, just like it's frustrating, and like we said several times, everyone has their own opinion that is completely okay, but at the same time, you have to be respectful and you gotta understand there is time limits. You have to be reasonable, responsible, and like if you do keep that kid, that is a life, that is a living thing. You have to respect that. You have to
Like it has
care for it.
it has rights now. You can't do anything
Yeah,
because when it's in you, technically, it's like it has your rights.
you care for it still, of
And all
course.
that stuff like it doesn't completely have its own rights. It has yours. So like let's say you get attacked and you have the baby and stuff, it will get your rights and all that stuff. But like once it's out. Like if someone attacked you, it's not gonna affect that baby once it's out. Like
Yeah.
if someone attacked that baby, then it's just them. It's like it has complete rights now.
Yeah, and like back to like the religion of like Jewish people, like they would take like the mother instead of the baby. Like in hospitals, usually they'd go for the baby first because like that's a new life. But at the same time, they'll ask the mother first because that is their body, the baby or fetus at the time. That's not a full person. Like
This might be an unpopular opinion, but like new life, yes, you can make it, but what about like the old life? Like you can always make new life. As bad as that sounds,
Yeah.
you can always make new life.
I think it depends on the situation.
It just depends on the person and how
Yeah.
their morals, their opinions, their like religion, all that stuff.
Yeah, because like it's iffy. It really depends on the situation. Like I don't think any person or any situation there should be a pick and choose. That's awful to think about, but at the end of the day, I think it goes down to I don't even know.
It just depends on the person. It goes down to the person who.
Yeah, like our opinion doesn't really matter in this situation. It's like it goes down to whatever.
It's like how do our opinions actually affect you other than you just listening?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it goes down to being responsible, and with that, you have to be careful. But yeah, that is our rant about whatever this was.
Yeah.
We got very sidetracked.
We did, but that's just who we are. See, that can play a part. I was given internet access and a tablet like really early, and I get sidetracked so easily. And like compared to like the past, like a lot of times it isn't. Like I have a niece; she was given a tablet already, and like, ooh,
It's not good.
it's not good.
It's not good.
Like no, just to my mom for giving her one. But
You
like,
made the iPad kids.
no, a lot of this new generation, they're illiterate, but that's mostly because I think they're not getting the socialization to like
No.
actually learn to read.
No,
And
it's
stuff,
not good.
Like they're screaming like in society there's the like taboos and like what people like would call common sense. Like here, it's like oh you don't marry a 9-year-old to a 40-year-old, but like other countries and other like societies, it's like oh that's normal and stuff. Like here, that's the common sense. These kids are not learning the common sense. They're not learning what they need to be. That's why you have kids just like randomly start screaming for no reason. And it's like, why are you screaming? Like, don't you have common sense? It's like they don't.
They don't like.
They're not learning it.
There's like age. Like when you're 5 years old, you don't know what common sense is. Like
No.
Like you have to be shown what common sense is.
Yeah, it's like why do you think they try to teach kids languages really early? They always say when you're younger, you you hold that information in longer, you hold it in better. Wait, can I just say something right now? Gen Z is technically the smartest generation right now.
How so?
I forget what the study's called, but maybe it's like the Allen study. Probably not Allen study, but basically, the study shown like IQ-wise, Gen Z is the smartest because it was like a study that's been going on for generations. It's like millennials are smarter than the generation before them. That generation is smarter than the generation before them, like IQ-wise. Like it's showing that each generation is getting smarter IQ-wise
Mm-hmm.
than the generation in the past, and Gen Z was done, and it is showing that like, hey, we are smarter than the generation before us.
Yeah.
But this is a freak phenomenon. The new generation, like, they're doing studies to like go like, oh, what Gen Z, like what the past ones knew, like the past generations knew at like their age, their IQ. They are not as smart. In fact, they're like,
Because
their IQ is going down by 40, like 60
like,
points.
yeah, by all means, we are not scientists. Okay, we
Yeah.
could be very wrong. From our own personal experiences, we can say that like you need that contact. Okay, and like not even our own personal experience, like common sense. You give a kid a tablet for its whole life, and you're gone. You're watching TV. You're watching like Grey's Anatomy. I don't know, and that kid's left alone on their tablet playing
Like, the internet is a scary place. There's stuff on there that shouldn't be on there.
like me personally. I've never been on the dark web. Okay, I don't even know how to. Okay,
I don't know either, but like I was young, I watched stuff that I shouldn't have been watching. Like,
no, you could legit. I'm not even kidding. You can search up the most graphic thing on Google, and the only thing that will censor it is a thing, and it'll ask you, "Do you want to see this?" And they could click yes, and your kid could be exposed to God knows what.
yeah, unless you have like a permission thing on, or like if you like,
Yeah,
you're
parental.
making, yeah, parental. Like, you can also like do something like,
You can bypass that so easily.
yeah, and if you do like an email, if you make your kid an email and you sign it up for everything, and let's say you put it on like Google and they're searching up something they're not supposed to, it has their actual age on there, and they're like, Google's like, whoa, what are you searching up? You shouldn't be looking up that.
Yeah.
Like, Google is parenting your child at that point, not you.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like the programs that were made for children, like YouTube Kids, do not trust YouTube Kids. Like I went
No.
on there one day just for curiosity to see what my cousin was watching because he was on that stuff all the time, and it was like people dressed up as like Frozen characters. Okay, I was like, oh, this is a wholesome video. But here's the
Elsa
thing.
Gate.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay. Elsa and Anna, okay, they're like these are adult people on this channel for children, and there's a video of like pornography, like them dressed up as kids, but like in a like the movie
In a
type of
fetish way?
no, like those type of when movies where like they heavily imply it but they don't show anything. It was like that.
Yeah.
And speaking like that takes a toll, especially with like Disney characters and stuff. And then kids seeing that, they'll start to do stuff. Like they'll think, oh, this is normal. I know what that is. They'll start doing stuff. They'll start talking about stuff. Then they'll get more curious.
Search up more risky things and all that stuff. And
It's to put it blunt, it's like an addiction. Like
yeah.
the things you search up, it's like you need something out of it. At first, you'll start off like, oh, like this is
Just
whoa.
curiosity.
Yeah, and then you become more interested. You need to know more. It's like a drug, and to the point where like that drug only does so much. You go to the next big thing.
Yeah.
And that's like the internet. It only does so much until you're like,
And like talking like that YouTube thing, a lot of times like there's this thing called Elsa Gate, and it was like when our generation and stuff, like
mm-hmm.
I was actually kind of like exposed to Elsa Gate. Basically, a lot of time it was like Elsa. Like, this is kind of used because a lot of times it was Elsa or like Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
But basically they use characters from like kid shows, kid movies. So the kid's like, hey, I know that character. I want to watch it. And they click on it, and it's exposing them to fetish content, actually. Yeah, so it was called Elsa Gate because a lot of times it was done with Elsa. And speaking about YouTube Kids, like, people are like, oh, it's YouTube Kids, it's for that. Like you said, don't trust it. It's like, my calculus teacher, he has YouTube videos on calculus. That's on YouTube Kids. It's like, sure, get your kid to learn calculus, but like, why is calculus on YouTube Kids? Like, what else is on there if there's calculus?
Oops, sorry. Like, they say there's filters, but at the same time, I forget the statistic. There's like
it's easy to bypass filters. It's
Yeah,
like,
there's like millions of videos posted a minute. Okay, there's only so much that filter could do within that time.
yeah, like a lot of times the videos are posted and then it goes through it. Like, not most of the time, but like sometimes it'll do that, or like it'll miss something, like the robot. Like, it, because like I uploaded a YouTube video for a school project and it took a little bit for it to load and all that stuff. Like, there's nothing bad in it because it was for a school project. But basically, you just had to put it in, and since it was kind of like a bigger file and stuff, it took a little bit to get on there. But like, it wasn't like, oh, we're looking through it for any bad stuff, because it took less time for it to be uploaded than how long it was.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't actually looking for bad stuff. It was uploading it to YouTube, and then once it's uploaded, it looks for bad stuff.
Yeah, and
So
that's
if
not,
a kid sees something and it was just uploaded, clicked it,
it's
or
too
like,
late. It's too late.
yeah, like the filter hasn't gone through it yet, seeing if it's bad or anything. It's like,
It's we went on a bit of a rant here.
yeah,
But to end it bluntly, children are very easily
impressionable. Like,
yeah. So if like especially today, if a boy, a little boy sees a video of like a man disrespecting his wife, he's gonna grow up thinking that's okay. If you don't show that's not okay.
yeah, like, and it, like, especially if it's constantly him seeing it.
Exactly. Like in violent situations, he's gonna grow up thinking, depending on the situation, your kid could either grow up to think of, oh, it's okay to do that, or you think of, that's not okay, I'm traumatized. There's no either or. It's
Yeah,
one of the two. Like, it's not a good
it's just like,
situation.
you gotta be careful.
So if you're in a toxic relationship, do the best for yourself and your family. Don't think, oh, well, this love is better than no love. Please do what you can to live, and then later down the road, do what you can to live life to what is the fullest.
To end it all, respect others, respect their opinions, and respect yourself.
Exactly. Like, be mindful. Don't, like, be like, hey, I'm going to do this on a whim. Like, sometimes, depending on what it is, yeah, do it. But at
Yeah.
the same time, think about your life, too. Like, don't go out, do what you need to do to be happy, but do what you need to do to be respectful and safe.
Yeah, unless like you think being like happy is killing people, don't
No,
do that.
please
Like,
don't.
yeah,
Please
just
don't kill people.
be respectful of others and yourself.
Yeah, that should be common sense today, but
Yeah, but
it's not.
a lot of times people just, self-love or love for others. A lot of people don't have it. There's a lot of hate.
Yeah, so just be.
Love, peace, and prosperity.
Yeah. Yeah, so Project Woman.
Yeah, it's Project Woman signing off, I guess.
This is our first episode. We went on a rant, but
Yeah.
it's important to know. So keep in mind that for this podcast, we'll be as open-minded as we can, but also keep in mind that we are still exploring the world too.
Yeah,
So
we're still teenagers. We're still developing.
yeah. But basically, be mindful.
Be mindful. Be respectful.
Yeah, and just keep in mind we are also teenagers. We're still exploring the world,
Yeah.
but
Have an open mind.
yeah, we are both 17. We're both being. Should I include that?
You can say that, yeah.
Okay. We are both teenagers. Okay, we're exploring the
Frontal
world.
cortex is still developing, and if you're under 25, yours is too.
Yeah. So just keep in mind that not everything on the internet is true. We're signing off.
Signing
Goodbye.
off, Project Women. Booyah! Where's the whole one?
Where's the one? Wrong one.
Project Women signing off. Booyah!